Hey everyone, this is Vicki at Messy Table Studio. Today I have a book flip and I'm going to talk about another small project. Okay, let's start with this. First, I had papers that I wanted to use up, and I had a group of papers that I've been saving or paper clipped together in a box, and I wanted to make sure they all stayed together in the same book. So I found some cardboard, and this is, I think this one of the three I'm going to show you today is made out of corrugated cardboard. I think it might be this one. So I did dyed papers a while back. I may have done a video about how they turned out. Is that a glare on there? Oh, sorry. I may have done a video about doing the dyed papers. These were, some of them are a combination of the colored dye, and some of them have a little bit of coffee mixed in. So the color will be a little muddled. These were silicone molds that were laid on top of the dyed paper. I think I mentioned in a couple previous videos that I think I have 20 of the $1, and they were $1 when I bought them, so you know it's been a while, from Dollar Tree. And they're the metal sheet pans, the smaller metal sheet pans. And I bought a whole bunch of them so that I could dry my paper flat. As much as I like using the clothesline, that's not going to work when you want to lay something on top of wet paper. So I had to find another method, and that was it. So here's another one with the silicone mold laid on top of it. This is just color. Is there a pattern in this one? No, but look at that color. Oh. These two had silicone molds. Those are, pages from the previous couple pages. There's the other side of the paper. I thought they turned out really well. They look great on camera. In person, they don't look as good, but on camera, they look a whole lot better. This is the one that has some dye and coffee muddled together. It was kind of a mop-up paper. But this one's strictly coffee right here with the silicone mold laid on top of it. And you got to let them dry. You can't, once you put it on there, don't touch them, don't fool around with them. You want that color to leave from underneath the mold. Like this one, I moved it, and look what happened. It didn't get a chance to really dry very well, so it's kind of a muddled look. I mean, it's got some of the mold print, but it's a little muddled. Actually, it's a lot muddled. Look at that one. I really like this one. The muddling does not bother me on this one. It bothers me more here because this is not as distinct as I would like for it to be, but even though it's muddled here, you can see where the mold was. So I like that a lot better. And there's the muddled side. There's more coffee in color. And this one I think is purple dye with coffee introduced. You can tell because it's got kind of brown edges, and the purple is not as good up here as it is right in here and through here. This is another paper with leaves. Leaf stamps. This one I think I just dyed, and I don't think I did anything to it. Yeah. This is definitely coffee and dye. Look how dark that is. There's the other one with the backside on the leaves. And then here is one that I tried. I think this might be one of the first ones I tried, leaving the silicone mold on top of it for a few minutes and then pulling it off. And it doesn't go very well. Did a little better here, but I have white, and I didn't want the white. There's another one that's got a mixture of coffee and dye. So I had all these papers, and I went ahead and bound them in a book because I have a lot of paper sitting around, and some of my boxes for paper, ooh, I like this one, they're getting pretty full. So I thought I would try to go ahead and bind these into books. The only thing about doing beautiful paper like this in a book is I hate to cover it up with magazine pictures. I like this one. This one turned out really well. There used to be something there, but it's so muddled you can't tell what it was. You can kind of see the pattern through here, but who knows what it was. I can't tell. Look, see, even on the other side. This one was leaves, and it didn't go well, but at least you kind of got the general outline of the leaf. It could be a bug, who knows, but it's a leaf. Oh, look, it's better here. I think the paper that has the little blotches on it, I think that might have been sulfite paper that I used. It feels different than some of the other paper. See how, look at the lines. And when I did iron this paper after it dried, but you can still feel the ridges in it. And then this was a jelly print that I just put in the back because I had enough of it. So there's this book, and yes, it's Coptic stitched. It's very loosely done, and I did it that way on purpose because if I make this a glue book, this bad boy is going to get out of control. It's got a little flexibility, not a whole bunch, but it's got enough to get me started. So that's good. All right, so that's the first book I did. Then, like I said, I had a lot of papers laying around, and this is a coffee dyed doily on the front and the back of the book. I think, I know what I did. I put this I scanned it in the printer, and then that went to the computer, and this is a print of the original coffee dyed paper with the doily on. And again, it's Coptic. And I had a bunch of these things done in signatures, and there was this one signature that wasn't the same size as the others, and I thought, well, that's going to be really difficult. Well, that didn't get on there very well. That's going to be really difficult to get this done. I didn't get the paper here. So I thought, well, okay, I'll use it for the inside piece. And see, look, I didn't even erase my pencil marks. I got to go back and fix that. So this is the inside piece that isn't the same as the rest of these. These are all just random splotchy colored coffee dyed papers. This is cardstock. White cardstock, I think is what I start out with, or manila. So all of these, I think there's 7 signatures. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 signatures of coffee dyed cardstock. And I did it so that it was on both sides of the paper. It bled through enough that you have the coffee on both sides of the paper. So that's all this is just the blotchy colored coffee dyed cardstock. And it's got a billion different patterns that look very cool. Okay, so there's this one. There's really not a whole lot to talk about of this one. You can kind of tell it's just, a blotchy mess. And if it gets covered up, it's fine. The last one is the most special of the group because I never planned on this book. Yes, it's Coptic again because they open flat. That's what I like in it. There are a lot of other stitches you can do to make your books open flat, but they're more complicated than doing the Coptic. I did use eyelets on this because I figured this would be open and close, and eventually I did use wax linen, but I was afraid that the wear and the tear on the board that I used would eat away at the wax linen thread. I'm not sure if the eyelets will do it too, but I'm hoping they won't. So this is just a jelly print where I stamped a stamp that I carved in one of the carved Decembers to make it look like a whole pattern. The papers in here, some of them are mine, and some of them came from the Russell Art Farm in Burleson, Texas, where I go every Saturday to putsy around with art. So I took the papers, they gave us a giant sheet of paper, I tore it down into bite-sized pieces here, and made all of these signatures out of one sheet of that big old paper. I think it was like, I don't know if I have the measurement correct, but I think it was like a 20 by 24 sheet. It was huge. So I just folded it in half and half and half and half, and this is what I got. I didn't use anything else except for that paper because it was good sturdy paper. Then they said, everybody bring in, we're going to have a collage day, so bring in your papers. So somebody brought in their papers, and I liked their papers. Some of these are mine, like I said, because I didn't have enough of their papers, but I tried to get as many of their papers in here as I could. A lot of mine are in here because I just ran out. This I don't think is my paper. I know this is not. I don't think this is mine. I know this is. That's not mine. So some of them, like I said, some of them are my papers. Some of them are somebody else's dyed, and I know this one's not mine. I don't think this is mine. But I wanted to use a combination. Well, I wanted to use all somebody else's papers, but I didn't have enough. So then I took ones that I had little pieces of that were mine and went ahead and put them in here. I did ink all the pages. So these are not dyed pages, these are inked. And I tried to make the ink, this is a pocket here, I don't know, it's just a random pocket. I tried to make the ink that kind of coordinate with the paper that's glued on top of it. I know that's mine. This is not. That's not my paper either. This is. So I can kind of tell the ones that are mine, some of them, not all of them I can tell, because this is like a month old. I know this one's mine, because that's my stamp I carved. This is not. This is mine. This is not. And I don't think this one is either. Anyway, so I just took what I had, and I glued stuff on. Now, this one, oh, do you think I can find a piece of paper when I want one? All this paper's sitting around on my desk. Do I find anything I can use? No. Hang on one second, let me get this. All right, so this is a basket where I cut out the inside of the basket, and now it's a pocket. I think this is mine. That might be mine. These are bits and pieces of somebody else's stuff, and a mixture of mine. I had such a good time. I did not measure the papers. I just tore equal parts of them, and however many I had that went into a signature, that's what I ended up with. So this is going to become a glue book, I think. Or maybe it'll be a doodle book. I don't know, because I did it so tight that there's not a lot of wiggle room. So if you look at it already, and that's just from sewing it together. Yeah, it pretty much opens flat. You can do stuff on both sides, but you can't do a whole lot of stuff because it's already got alligator mouth like this. Can you imagine if you glue stuff in it, what it's going to be like? It's going to be like this. Okay, so then that's the first thing that I got finished. The second thing I got kind of, I hate to use the word obsessed, but let's say I got overly interested in was somebody was taking a class where they had hidden paper clips. And she gave me one of hers, and I brought it home and glued it together. I thought, oh, these are so cute. I'm going to try to make some of them. I didn't make the ones she gave me. I made ones that I did go on internet and looked. So I have been, well, first let me do this. All right, so I saw a video where someone took packing tape and did their, now this is strapped packing tape where it has the little threads running through this. I think Cindy Utter gave this to me when I was making a lot of books, and I was using this on the inside of the book to reinforce the spine. And I quit doing my books like that. I started using Tyvek, which are the shipping envelopes from the USPS. And I cut them up and use the strips to reinforce it. If you're like opening and closing it constantly, it needs a little help. The paper doesn't always withstand that wear and tear. So I went and looked when I saw the person's video. They were using regular packing tape that does not have the thread through it. This is what I had, so this is what I used. So I took this and I went off the deep end. Okay, so I'm gonna I'll show you what I did. I made stuff. I made all kinds of stuff. I just got kind of crazy and started making packing tape art. Now these aren't, those are watercolors in there. This is a packing tape flower. So that's all packing tape. Then I did, oh, y'all don't make fun of me, please. Packing tape. That's watercolor. packing tape. Packing tape. I think the rest of these in here are watercolors. I don't think I have any more packing tape in there. Let me look in another pocket that I have in here. These are watercolors. That's watercolor. Okay, so I have other packing tape art, but that's what I have handy in my book. So, so I made paper clips, and I had a bunch of these packing tape things that I painted. I think these are mostly acrylic. I did do some with a little bit of watercolor, but you can't get it too saturated because, you know, there's glue on the back of this, so you can't go too crazy. So I try to keep it as light as possible. Some of it's gouache, some of it is, what do you call it, Tombow watercolor markers that I had some, and then I got some more in the mail from a friend. I didn't buy them. There's this. Oh yeah, and Posca markers. Some of these are Posca markers. All right, so that's that batch there. But I didn't stop there. I did this. And the other side. These are packing tape. So all you have to do when you make your hidden paper clip is, you don't have to use somebody else's artwork. You can use yours. And this is packing tape that I drew. I did Posca and then went over it with a black pen. This is Posca also with what are these called? Uniball white markers. And then this was just miscellaneous scrapbook paper, scrap cardstock paper stuff, and made one of those paper clips that's double-sided. Let's see, and then I had already painted these, the fall leaves. Then I used those to make a double-sided paper clip. All right, mind you, this stuff was already painted. They were tucked away. And I thought, oh, I don't have to draw anything or do any fussy cutting. All I have to do is clip the corners on these and glue them down and make it. That's what happened. Then I had some of these little ones. This is a little paper clip, not a large one. So I had some of these that were little tiny things. And I just found some leftover cardstock, inked it, cut some of the corners. I forgot to cut them off here, but I got the bottoms. Made that. And then this morning, after I finished, I cleaned off the desk. I was like, okay, I'm done. I forgot I had one like this. And I saw a video where the woman made round ones. I was so excited. I took my 2-inch punch, and then I realized I had to punch it on the fold. So I have a lot of extra circles. So you just got to make sure that when you punch it, you move the punch out a little bit, move your paper out a little bit, because you need that fold so that you can put the paper clip through, so that you can have something to, I guess I need a book to put this on, don't I? It's hard to remember everything. So you want to make sure that you have the fold in the middle so that you can use this. And I left a little part of the paper clip out so that I could put ribbons and stuff on it, which I have not done yet. But that's, I just got carried away. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, just saying, then I decided, well, I have all these little mini books that are going to go to Artemat. And I'm looking at them going, well, they look awful plain, so I have 50 of them to do. So then I took and I made little miniature things to put on the front. All I had to do is lick and stick. So I did, I think I got 25 or 30 of them finished. I have not done the yellow, and I have not come up with one for the red and black ones yet. I will. But I did on the ones that just had a generic kind of paper on the front of them. All right, so that's those. And here is the pile. If I can get them all picked up at once without making 15 trips over here. Here is another pile of ones that need to be stuck on the front of the books. So some of them are for the yellow books. I have some that are green. I got the pink ones for this out of this pile here. So there's some green ones, some yellow. There's a blue. I think that's it. So all these little ones will be stuck on the rest of those Artemat books. And this is one square. When you notice, you have to cut on the diagonal along the string and cut off the triangles, and then you get the little squares that are full squares. When you cut them out, they look like this. And that's about the same size. Some of them may be a little larger, some a little smaller, because my cutting was not exact and it didn't need to be. So this one's a little smaller than the other. So go buy yourself some packing tape and go to town. It was so much fun. Oh, and something else. From going out to the art farm in Burleson, I have met so many people that are so much more creatively different than I am. I'm not saying somebody's better or not as good or anything like that, but they were talking about using dip pens. So I bought myself a dip pen. It came yesterday. This was like on the top. This was the front that it came with. They're Japanese, and they're called Tachikawa. I thought it was kind of funny because when I was a kid, we lived in Japan, and there was a base called Tachikawa. It was, let's see, we lived in Kantamura housing at Chofu. Then my dad worked at Fuchu Air Force Base, and then you drive up further, and it's Tachikawa, and you go further, and it's Yokota Air Force Base. So Tachikawa, just when I saw the name of it, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been there. So I had to buy the set. I just had to buy it. All right, so that came on the outside of the box. It came yesterday. And then on the inside, which I thought was rather odd, everything's in Japanese, so I can't read. There's no English in it, but I get the gist. Then they come with, this is not the odd part, they came with a booklet that shows you the different size nibs you get. Everything's in Japanese, no English. All of it. But you can tell what they're talking about. They're showing you the nib, showing you the different nibs and what they will do, how thick the lines are, how thin the lines are, if you go light or you press down. I mean, I understand what the booklet's saying. I don't need English for it because I get it from looking at the little pictures that they put inside there. I'm not sure what this is about, but she's like putting it in her hair, and it probably says, no, you can't do that. I don't know. Anyway, so there's that. And then it shows you how to put the nib in. It shows you how to dip the ink, how to use it. And it's also telling you not to, it has to be wet. You have to have ink on it. It's also showing you can do circles and straight lines and different directions to go to get better coverage. So this is their little book. Oh my God, there's English. I didn't even see it. It says World starting from the pen. Tachikawa Company Limited. That's the first English I've seen in the whole stinking book. Look, there's Japanese phone numbers. Oh, and everything from the years. That's so cute. All right, so there's this. Then inside of that, which I hope I did this right. Let's see if you agree. There were these little cards in there, and it's hard to see them. Do you see the whale? It's a whale, and everything is very faint on the card. You can barely see it. But they send you, oh, here's the empty one. There's an empty one for you to play with. But they send you these little characters. There's 5 of them. No, 4 of them. Yeah, there's only 4. Well, here's the blank. And there's 1, 2, 3, and number 4. Now, the reason this one is black is because I tried out the dip pen, and you just go over their little blue lines with the dip pen, and you get, a copy of their picture that they've done in the very light blue to show you what it would look like when you go over it with the pen. Very cute. All right, now to the meat of the box. Da-da. Oops. All right, so I told you I couldn't wait, so I got it out. And I really thought these were more complicated than they were. They're not. Look at installation. Ta-da! Done. So you get the pen, and you put in the tip. This one's really sharp. And then when you're done, and this stuff will stain your hands like crazy, so you really need to work with some kind of a napkin or paper towel or something. And at the end, when you're done, you kind of wipe the ink off, and it doesn't matter if it dries on there unless it clogs up the little reservoir thing here. But it comes with all these little things in here, and I can't get it back in there, so I didn't even try earlier. And there's another, oh, here it is. And then there's this little tiny one. This one is different. This one has a hole. The others are a semicircle, but there's a hole inside this. And this goes right over the hole. So you can put two different kinds of nibs in. You can do the kind that have the little hole, or you can do the kind that have the semicircle. So here is that. This one is a very fine tip. And then you have the others. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 5 tips. This, you get the black ink. Yeah, the black ink. You get the little starter pictures, plus you get their little instruction booklet or information booklet. And all that for, I think I paid $20 for that. Now there are better handles like wood and more pretty ones, but I don't really care what the handle looks like, because when you dip it in that ink, you're putting it like about that far down in for it to get the ink on there, and then that thing's covered in ink on the end. The best thing to do is to not use it in this bottle, to take it out of the bottle into a more wide mouth sort of bottle, so that you don't cover your pen with black ink trying to get it in and out of the bottle. And let me tell you what, that's a trick, trying to get this inside there without getting ink around the edges. So for $20, I bought this, and then with all the discussion of see, I got to try it out before I bought it, because somebody brought theirs up to the sketch day, and I got to try it out, and I said, oh, I have to have this, because this is your basic little starter kit, you know, the gateway. And then she gifted me, the person who lent me her pen, she gifted me 2 more of the nibs, and I don't know what these are used for, or if they'll fit in that other, in the pen, but if I can get them out of this cute little plastic bag, I'm going to have to find some other way to store this stuff other than in that box. And see, I cannot get this open. I don't have any fingernails anymore. Okay, so work smarter, not harder. My scissors are so dull. All right, there we go. They come, you can order just nibs and not have to get the whole kit. I already have ink from the glass dip pens that I had, and so I have that ink. All right, come on. That's worse. The thing is you cannot push that thing too far down in, and this is why, ouch, this is why I have not, I can't get it out. Let me do this out of camera range. They make these cool things called needle nose pliers. So just a little tug with them that came out. All right, so let's see if these guys fit. Oh, sure enough, they do. Look at that. Now they make some of these for just specifically for calligraphy, and they make others for art, doing line drawings. I could push it in further, but I'll never get the booger out of there, so I'm not going to do that. So there's all of these, and I'm going to put these in some kind of a container and then put it in my bag and put a couple bottles of ink for when I go draw. I just was so excited about using this and getting this in the mail. I just thought it was such a cool thing, and it's not very expensive. I mean, look at all the tips you get, and you get the ink too for 20 bucks. I thought that was a good deal. Not to mention the cute little cards, and I think that came inside here, like this, and it was sealed shut. And then this was on there, and then it was wrapped in plastic. And I'm looking at it going, oh, $20. I probably wasted my money. And I opened it up, and I was like, oh, cool. All right, so I think, is that all I have to show? Oh, I guess I should tell you that I drew these with the pen, with the dip pen. I drew the outlines and stuff with the dip pen. Super easy to do. No blobs, no splats. It worked really well, and the ink seemed to go a long way. Let me find something else to show you that I did. All right, let's see if we can do this. I don't know if there's any in here that I did drawings with the pen. All these drawings this is my Saturday sketch school stuff. No, these were all the ink pens that I had on hand. This was a regular ink pens. These are ink pen drawings. Okay, so no, there's none in there yet, but there will be soon enough. Okay, thanks everybody for watching the video. I looked yesterday and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put the video out, so I thought I'd better get on it and get it done. Hub is gone for a few hours, so I thought the dog will be knocked unconscious, the cat will be asleep too, and this is my moment. I'm taking it. So thanks for coming and watching. I just had a lot of fun getting carried away making books. I've got tons more papers that need to be put into books. And doing the double-sided paper clip was a lot of fun, not to mention all the art on the packing tape. That one blew me away. I've never seen anybody do art on packing tape, so that was a lot of fun. And then because of doing the large ones, I thought, well, I can do the little bitty ones. I can make these happen. I can do this with these. So, oh, that's my blank one. I found it on the desk. I forgot to do one. So I just thought that was a lot of fun. It was something different, something that got my juices stimulated, my creative juices going. And this is packing tape, so, you know, there's a lot of possibilities there. So when you look at supplies, don't look at them as only being one-dimensional. They can be used for more than one thing. Lord knows we've all tried. Like, toilet paper rolls. These can be used for lots of different things. I saw a video of a woman who made a butterfly out of a toilet paper roll. And I think that it almost broke my brain. Can you believe that? Here's the one that's painted. That's a toilet paper roll. Can you believe it? I was just stunned. I was like, holy moly, that is so cool. And we were drawing butterflies and bugs at the sketch Saturday. And then I saw this. I'm like, oh, I must do this. All right, someone's trying to call me, so I guess that's my cue to go. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Let me know if you find this stuff interesting. Thanks. Bye.